On Wednesday, 31st October, on 1979, precisely at 11:15, three girls from Northwich, Emma, Melissa, and Erica, about 16 years old. That night, they were at the house of Emma's aunt, who was detained in the hospital for surgery, and their task was to take care of the house and guard it until her return. None of the girls noticed that this old Victorian house has something scary in it. There was definitely something moving in the dark, waiting for the right moment to come out. But they were busy gossiping about young people until this scary idea came to Melissa's mind, and she suggested trying to see the future husband the famous
Halloween game.
Nothing scary, that's what Melissa thought. Both Emma and Erica got excited eagerly. They asked to know the method. Melissa said,
"Bring 2 candles and stand in front of the mirror. Put a candle on your left and a candle on your right, and comb your hair with one hand, and with the other hand eat an apple. Then your husband's face will appear near your left shoulder." Mom did this and saw my father's face.
Emma said.
Let's do it.
She was excited. Melissa said,
"It's 10, and it doesn't work until the middle of the night."
Emma left the living room for a few minutes and then returned with 2 scented candles placed in silver candlesticks in her hand. She also brought a hairbrush with her from her sick aunt's room. Emma put the 2 candles on both sides of the fireplace and then stood in front of the mirror, also hanging over the fireplace, and said, laughing sarcastically,
"Who will be Emma's husband?"
Melissa angrily warned Emma.
"Don't mess with what might be black magic."
At midnight, Emma repeated the operation, but this time it was more serious. She stood combing her hair while Melissa and Erica watched the situation from afar. Meanwhile, Emma noticed an electric flash coming out of her hair when the brush touched it. She ignored it and continued to watch her left side. Time passed and nothing appeared. So Emma left the brush. But suddenly, the picture appeared on her left. She was not as she expected her future husband. No. She saw on her left a pale-faced man with red hair. He looked at her very angrily, and then snarled at her as if he wanted to kill her. Emma quickly turned around, thinking that she would see him, but she found no one. The face was visible only in the mirror. Suddenly, a breath of air came from the window, extinguished the 2 candles, and Emma hurried to light the lamps, but she did not know where the keys were in the dark and fell out of fear unconscious. All this, and Melissa and Erica do not know what suddenly hit Emma. Melissa moved to open the window so that some light would come in, but she suddenly stopped and started screaming. There were flaming pieces of coal lying on the floor, which she trampled with her foot, burning it. Melissa wondered how that piece got here. The fireplace wasn't working at all, either. Why didn't Melissa see it even though it was a mass of fire burning in a dark room? Suddenly, the room started raining shrapnel and burning pieces of wood. Despite the darkness, the girls managed to get to the door and get out of the house. Days later, the aunt returned home, and Emma called her to apologize for the destruction of the living room and said that she did not know the reason for what happened. Emma only told her aunt the story of the burning pieces of wood, but she never told her the story of the face and the spell. Then, The aunt replied that her house is as it is. There is no trace of any burning on the living room furniture. They must have taken some kind of drug, the aunt thought. It was an incident from the past. That's how everyone dealt with what happened that night, and everyone went on with their lives in a normal way. Until 1984, when Emma met a man named Roy. She considered him the ideal man she had seen in her dreams. He was tall, blonde-haired, blue-eyed. By the summer of 1985, Emma had already become engaged to Roy and moved in with him in his apartment. But Roy gradually underwent a radical change in his character, and Emma saw a disgusting side in her fiancé that she did not know existed. He has often been coming home drunk. His behavior deteriorated even more day by day, and on one occasion he even hit Emma with a coffee table during a quarrel between them. Emma left his apartment and left him for a week and stayed at her sister's house. Roy never left her. He always called her and begged her to come back. Eventually, she responded to him and returned in the hope that his behavior would improve, but nothing changed. Roy continued his antics. Then one night, Roy was lying next to Emma in bed when she noticed that the roots of his hair were red in color. Emma thought that Roy's hair was naturally blonde, so she asked him, but he admitted to her that he hated the color of his red hair, so he had been dyeing it for the past 2 years. Emma told him that his real hair color is not bad, so there is no need to dye it. Roy acted on her words, and 6 months later there was a big quarrel between them, so she was shocked to see a scene that she had thought was from the past. She found herself standing in front of a pale-faced, red-haired man whose eyes were overflowing with hatred and anger. It's the same scene she saw 5 years ago. Roy started snarling, and then took a knife from the table next to him and almost killed her, but she managed to escape to her parents' house. And from there she asked the police, who arrested Roy. Emma promised her parents not to return to her criminal fiancé. Years later, she married another man, believing that what she had seen before was a warning from good spirits who wanted to save her life.